guys, I've missed you. I'm realizing that I need like caffeine every single day, which I'm not proud of, but it's necessary for me right now. I don't know, I mean, I know why. It's because of my sleep schedule, but I can't really control that because Silas decides my sleep schedule every single night, and he sleeps pretty good, like, don't get me wrong. I am excited for those really long night stretches. Like, I already know I'm gonna have a great sleep when that comes. Anyways, I'm realizing that I need caffeine, and all I have in the house is decaf things because before I was really hypersensitive to caffeinated drinks and stuff. And yesterday I went to a coffee shop and I got a caffeinated drink, and I literally, not gonna lie, probably had like the best days that I've had in a really long time in terms of energy wise. So I always really have a good day because I try to stay positive, like I do the things that I like to do, but energy wise I felt so good yesterday. Like I almost feel like wired, like I just could stay outside. Like I was really excited about that. Today, oh my gosh, I'm like fighting to stay awake. Anyways, this is the video that I have been waiting to do. It's 2 months postpartum. So I had Silas 9 weeks ago. Yesterday was 9 weeks, which is crazy. It almost feels like it was a lot longer ago than that, but I'm really excited to like get into the details about like postpartum life, postpartum things that I'm doing postpartum that have been helping me, like mentally, physically, emotionally, all the good stuff, because I want to share that with you guys. And I also promised in the last video that I would make this video. I posted a Q&A on our Instagram so that you guys can ask me the questions that you also have about postpartum that I can answer for you. Postpartum / the 4th trimester, that's what people call it, which I completely understand because it does just feel like another layer of like the whole pregnancy journey. So I understand the 4th trimester term 100%. If you guys do not follow us on Instagram, go ahead and follow us at Matt and Carly, or you can follow us at our individual accounts, which is like Carly Kunarasa or Matt Kunarasa, and it's also the same names on TikTok. Right now we just have a joint account. I am thinking of doing a individual account. I'm not sure yet. I'm just trying to think of like what I would do. My thoughts are like kind of like mom videos, cooking videos, because I really like to cook. That's like my passion outside of doing this and outside of being a wife and a mom. That is my passion, cooking. So I really want to do one, but I also am really scared. I don't know. Anyways, I'm stalling. I know Silas is about to wake up from his nap. He's on a very strict like, so this is how I kind of like compartmentalize the day. I do it like 2 halves, right? So a daytime half and a nighttime half. So his nighttime half starts at 8 o'clock on the dot. Like, I'm very particular about starting his nighttime routine at exactly 8 o'clock. So he starts at 8 o'clock and he wakes up at 8 o'clock on the dot. Well, give or take 30 minutes for the waking up part, because if he's really tired, I'll let him sleep longer. Or if he wakes up 30 minutes before and he's not going back to sleep, I'll let him have quiet time in his crib. So he literally just lays there, he stares at the wall, he makes little cooing noises. It's really cute. So we do that. It's like the 12-hour window of the nighttime, and then the 12-hour windows of his daytime, which that is the time where I kind of break the daytime into 2-hour sections, unless he has a longer nap. But for schedule purposes, we do like 2-hour sections. So at 8 o'clock, I'll change him, feed him, then he'll play until 9, and then from 9 to 10, he'll take a nap. And he's really good with this schedule, so we've just stuck with it and it's worked for us. So from 9 to 10 he'll take a nap, and then 10 o'clock he'll wake up, I feed him, he plays for like roughly like an hour. Sometimes it goes a little past that, like it's a give or take 2-hour window. He'll play for a little bit, roughly like 40 to 50. We try to get him to go like longer and longer wake windows just as he gets older. And then we also let him do like tummy time. I try to do tummy time for like 20 to 30 minutes at least within a session. He really likes tummy time, so I let him kind of like enjoy that. Of course, I give him breaks because I don't know, I think I'm just hyper aware of him just being on his like stomach for too long, especially like holding himself up. He's still learning. He's only like 2 months, so yeah, so that's kind of how it goes. It's like these give or take 2-hour window type of days. And then one of his naps, like for certain, one of his naps are outside of the crib. So if it's a contact nap, if we go outside, then he'll nap like in his car seat or his stroller, bassinet stroller thing. But we try to do like one nap outside of his crib just so he can, like, he stays used to being able to sleep outside or being able to sleep in other environments other than the crib. He really does like his crib. I've been yapping a lot. I'm gonna go set myself up and then we can do the Q&A. I have some dishes and some things that I have to do before I start that, so I'm just gonna do that really fast right now. This is our before. Right, we've got some dirty dishes and this griddle. Matthew makes me breakfast every single morning. I think I told you guys that in the last video. So I just do the tidying up because he's usually in a rush in the morning, and it's not usually like a huge mess or anything. Also, one thing I wanted to say, I made this granola. It says oats, it's not oats. I made this granola homemade and it's so good. And do you know what Matthew did? We went to the store yesterday and this man picks up granola and he says, well, I'd like to know how many calories are in it. Ugh. That's my impersonation of Matthew. He's gonna watch this and be like, what? Anyways, it's really good. This is protein granola because there's a bunch of nuts. There's a bunch of like nuts that has a lot of protein, right? And it doesn't have a lot of sugar. I only used a little bit of honey, not even a lot of honey, and some, what did you use, Carlin? I used a little bit of honey and a little bit of olive oil. Just mix it together, let it go in the oven, and then I just kept it in until it turned like a nice brown color, and then took it out and I mixed it because it was kind of a thick layer, and then I let that other layer get brown. Anyways, it's very, very simple. Like, these are the type of things that I want to show you guys on my personal TikTok if I make one. You guys need to convince me to make one. Like, I need some like convincing, because I'm honestly just like doubting my ability to like be, this is gonna sound so weird, I'm doubting my ability to be like something that y'all want to watch, just me on TikTok, right? Because on YouTube it's like a longer form content. You guys can see a little bit more about like my life. Matthew's mostly predominantly here except for when he's busy. I'm just like nervous about like just having my own thing. I don't know, I'm in my head about it. Anyways, let me clean up because I'm just chatting at this point. Everything that I need to get done is now done, so I'm going to jump into these questions. I think I'm just gonna get right into it. I had a coffee that I made earlier, but I finished it, and also it's decaf, so it's not cutting it. So maybe I'll get some coffee later. Alrighty, I'm gonna get into these questions. Also, look at this really cute phone case. It's a MagSafe phone case. I got it off of Amazon. I love it. It's like tortoiseshell, and it was very cheap. I'm pretty sure it was like $10, I believe. I can link it if you guys want. I do hear him. I think he's still asleep. This is a good nap for him. The other day he took like a 3-hour nap, and I literally had to take his temperature because I was like, yo, are you sick? But he was just living his best life, taking a nice nap. I wish I could be like him. There were a couple of products that I wanted to show you guys that were like really essential in my postpartum care, like physical health. So I just wanted to grab those before we started. Okay, let's get through these questions. I think I can actually get through all of them because some of them are pretty similar, so I can just kind of group a couple questions together. First question, we'll start off light. It says, describe motherhood in one word. Honestly, what is one word I would use? Magical? I think that's the word I would use. It really is magical. It has honestly been the most beautiful experience that I've had. It's so interesting because I was telling Matthew the other day, after becoming a mother, I feel like I kind of had to go through some of my childhood things mentally, and I think that experience has made me into like a better person, I feel like, or like somebody that's just, I see the world a lot differently, and like I see life a lot differently, and I don't know, it's been really a crazy experience. I feel like also the childhood that I had is impacting the way that I experience motherhood, and I would love to go into this deeper another time, but just like my experiences with like parentals and like guardians and just all that type of stuff, like the struggles that I had as a child that I feel like I kind of carried over into my adulthood. I really got to take a deep dive into those things, and like questions that I've had all my life about like why adults do certain things that they do. I'd love to talk more about it like in a different type of video, but it's a beautiful experience. I've honestly wanted to be a mother since I was like 12 years old, so it honestly is like a dream come true for me, which is why I would use the word magical. Yeah, and I'm not saying like it's been a walk in the park. There have been really hard days, weeks, but every time I look at him, I'm just like, you know, it's all worth it. Everything like that I had to go through to get to him was 100% worth it for me. How was the recovery after the C-section? This is crazy. So something that I wish I did differently going into this was to mentally and physically prepare for if I was going to have a C-section. I completely rid off the idea of C-sections in my brain. I was just like, no, that's not happening. Like, I'm not opting in to have a C-section, and I thought that my chances of having a C-section were low. I don't know why I just convinced myself of that. What I would say to anybody who is expecting, even if all the odds are in your favor to not have a C-section, I would say still mentally prepare for that to happen just in case, because I did not do that, and oh my gosh, I struggled so bad. Like, I struggled alone, first of all, if you guys don't know, I was induced. I think you might know that I'm not sure if I did we did do a birth story. I was induced, so it was a very crazy experience, and I would use the word traumatic. I feel like other mothers who have kind of been through this type of experience would understand why I use that word, and to other people it might sound dramatic, but it kind of was traumatic for me. I did not expect it at all. It was very painful, like the worst pain I've ever been in my life, 100%. Of course I don't remember like the level of pain right now, but I just know in the moment I was thinking to myself, this is definitely the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. And so I was induced, and the medication was just like affecting my body in such a weird way, the Pitocin, and my body was just going crazy with the pain. It was unbearable. But mentally I had told myself I really do not want to get like any medication. So the journey to go from doing a completely natural birth, which is, it's already not going to be natural if it's going to be induced, but trying to do as natural as possible when you're being induced, to literally having to go on an epidural and then a C-section was bizarre, okay? When they had suggested the epidural, actually no, they hadn't suggested it. They were encouraging me because I knew my birth plan. They were like, you're doing great. I just kept trying to get through the pain. And I had not dilated at all. Not even one. I don't even think I was anywhere. And I was having contractions like I was like at a 10. So, and they had said that I was going to be in this state for at least 8 more hours. And that to me sounded like hell on earth. And to get there, I was just like crying. I was like, I don't know why I wouldn't allow myself to just like to do what I need to do to feel better. I don't know why, like what was going on in my brain. But Matthew was very helpful. All the nurses were so kind, and I was just like crying as I was deciding whether or not to get the epidural. They had broken my water, and then it had been like almost 24 hours. And just for the safety of the baby, I had to get the C-section. It was just like a whirlwind of things, and I wish I had mentally prepared for that. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. The physical recovery is bizarre. I'm still recovering from the C-section. Like, I still can't like jump really fast. Like, certain physical movements I do not have back yet. And I've honestly like been beating myself up about it, but I have to remind myself that I am in the state that I am right now so that I could get my son at the time when he was born. So I'm still recovering. The weirdest or the hardest part of the C-section recovery is core strength. Like, your core strength is like plummeted, honestly. The other day I tried to do a push-up. I literally can't even get into the push-up position because I literally my core cannot hold myself up anymore. And before I could do not a lot of push-ups, but I could do like a couple of them. Now I can't even get into the push-up position, and I know that that's just temporary. I know that's just for right now, and I know I'll get back to that point. That's what I'm trying to say. I know I'll get back to the point point where I can hold myself up fine. But right now I cannot do that. So we'll see when I get there. I have been working out again. I've been doing like core exercises, trying to like get my core strength back. I've been doing a lot of like more of outside exercising, so like going for long walks around a track, or like playing tennis, or just being active outside, and that's helped me a lot. I think feel better. I feel really good when I'm being active, when I'm getting outside, when I'm getting vitamin D, getting that sunlight. It's very good for you. Anyways, that's a long answer to like a very short question. It's a very loaded question. Recovery around C-section. The other thing I would say before I move on to the next question, the craziest part of my C-section was like after your catheter is removed and you have to walk and you have to go to the bathroom. The first time you stand up, oh, I will never forget that. Like, I don't remember the pain of going through labor and all this stuff, but I will never forget the feeling of the first time I stood up after my C-section. It, like, just hear me out right now. It literally just feels like all of your organs are trying to, like, they're about to fall out. Like, and you have to hold it up. Like, it's bizarre. Even the doctors and the nurses, they were like, yeah, that's like completely normal. Like, you will feel like everything's falling out because they literally opened up your stomach. I don't mean to scare anybody who's gonna have a C-section or scare anybody who's going to give birth soon, but I'm just letting you know that is something to expect, okay? Just like as I was saying before, like I think it's good to be educated on what's going to happen if you're going to have a C-section, like recovery and all that. C-section aftercare is another question. I have everything here. The biggest thing that I use, thank goodness, I have a friend who got me this C-section kit because I was, again, not prepared for a C-section at all. He's like slowly waking up. I had gotten everything I needed for a vaginal birth, everything. So like at the dermaplast, the tucks. I think you guys saw, if you guys saw like one of our like pack the bag videos, I had all things for vaginal births, nothing for C-section. So my dearest friend got me like the Freedom Mom C-section kit thing. I can put a picture right here. And it just had like belly band. It had some like silicone bandage covers, which were very, very helpful. And some other things in there. I can't remember all of them, but there's a couple other things in there. Now, I still did use some of the like things that I needed for a vaginal birth, like the diapers and all of those things, because you do have like a lot of bleeding. My husband's home. But what I used, that this brand sent me, this is called Proof, I think, by Always. They sent me these like postpartum. Mateo.
Hey, kitty.
You okay, cutie?
Oh, yeah.
I'll be back. So Proof, Always. Wait, Always I think is the brand, and I think Proof is the type of underwear. But these are postpartum underwear. They're fire, okay? I did not have to use, I used all the diapers that I had originally, and then I switched to using these because I had run out of the diapers. And right as I ran out, Proof sent me these underwear, and they're amazing, okay? Like, I was getting to the point, like, I would only wear these, put them in the wash, like, just keep wearing them. I have a couple of these. I have this one in black. It's kind of like, they're underwear that are very supportive, and they're laced with this really thick pad-like insert thing. It's not an insert. It's like a pad-like part of the underwear that keeps the leakage in. Like, I did not leak once, not once. And you don't feel like you're sitting in a pool of blood either, which is so helpful because I hate that feeling when the pad gets full, then you have to go change it. Like, you do not feel that when you wear these. And they're super supportive. Like, look at that. This is what you need postpartum. You do not need all of the cutesy. This is what you need. You need support, okay? So this is everything. I have it in another color too. This one I think is for period because it's a lighter pad, but I have a bunch of these now. I have a bunch of these now and I use them for my period. It's the life, okay? And then just birth aftercare, not even just C-section, just in general. If you're breastfeeding, pumping, these are good things just as a new mom when you're going through these hormone switches that your body needs, like just a little bit extra TLC. Something else that I use hefty religiously is a nipple butter, nipple cream. I use this brand, it's so good. I did run out and I need to get some more, but I'm telling you, I'm being honest, I use the whole entire thing. I need to get some more of these. I also use silverettes, which are very helpful. And when you use a silverette, you do not have to put like nipple cream also. The silverettes kind of act like a nipple cream, nipple shield, very helpful. I was told also by a nurse at the doctor that you can put your silverettes in the fridge. And so when you put them on, they're nice and cool. Very, very helpful. Okay, those are my tips for like care here. I also posted this on TikTok. Put your nipple cream on the under boob. Something that I struggled with a lot was the under boob was getting really like, I don't want to say a rash like, but because of the moisture buildup, it was starting to burn. Like I did also, when you are breastfeeding, your boobs do enlarge, right? They get engorged, so they hang a little bit more, and so that also creates like an area for moisture to build up. So that's where I use the nipple cream. Also make sure the place is very, very dry. Keep it very dry at all times. As much as you need to wipe it, just wipe it. Keep it dry and use the nipple cream. You'll be good. Another must, you have to use this. Like, I'm not even kidding. This is not even a negotiable. Even in just life in general, you need to be using an antibacterial soap. This is the one that I use. It's from Amazon. It's I think it's less than $20, I'm pretty sure. But it actually works. There are a lot of antibacterial soaps like from a bunch of different brands, but this is the good one, okay? This is just gets the job done. It has no scent or anything. So if you want to be scented, use this first and then use like a scented soap. But this is very, very good. I can link this. This is the best one out there, okay guys? I'm telling you, there's nothing else you need to try. Don't try. I've heard a bunch of suggestions. That's the best one. Another thing is glycolic acid. I use glycolic acid under my armpits. I did run out recently, so I have switched to just using alcohol under my armpits, like just wiping it with like an alcohol pad. Not alcohol pad, but putting alcohol on like a cotton pad and just wiping it to kill the bacteria. The biggest issue with like the scent, other than like it's your hormones, you can't really control it, is bacteria buildup. So just make sure you keep under your armpits, under your boobs, and like creases and stuff, just keep those places free of bacteria by using antibacterial soap, or if you need to use glycolic acid on your armpits, like those things are very helpful. And make sure you use deodorant after the glycolic acid. Do not just use just that. Oh, this is a good one. What should you bring to the hospital to help with postpartum? Okay, here's what I'm gonna say. The hospital does give you a lot of things. In my personal opinion, I prefer the things that I brought. So they give you like these like disposable underwear. I hated those. I felt like they were not staying up, first of all. They just felt very flimsy. I used a random underwear disposable brand that I found at Walmart. I think it literally says postpartum underwear on it. Literally the best thing that you can do for yourself. It's snug, it's really nice. You should get that. I ended up just using those because I liked those better than what I brought to the hospital. Also, I think Frida Mom has postpartum underwear, which I also loved those as well. Bring things that you will feel comfortable in. Okay, you're in the bed a lot. Okay, a lot more than you would like, probably. I was very annoyed that I was in the bed that much. But bring things that are comfortable, that like, you know, picture this. When you go to sleep, what are you comfortable wearing? Other than saying no clothes, because you can't do that. That you're comfortable to wear to sleep, that you're fine with doctors and people coming and seeing you in. I'm gonna tell you right now, you are gonna be very undignified in the hospital. At least I was very undignified. I was like walking around in just like the postpartum underwear, and the doctor would walk in and I'm like, huh? Like I was out. Like I don't even know what was happening to me. When I look back at it now, I'm like, I was just losing my mind, I think. Also, there was just like a lot going on around the time, so I think I was just like, I think I just had tapped out of everything. I just didn't care anymore. But yeah, that's my recommendation of the things to bring. All the other normal things to bring, I recommend bring the fan. You will use the fan because I was getting overheated from just the contractions, and the fan was helping a lot. Bring socks that you like. Bring your heating pad. You will use it, okay? I almost did not bring the heating pad, and then last minute I brought it. I used it every single day. Every single moment that I was awake, I was using the heating pad. It's essential, use the heating pad. Especially like after the C-section, I got like the chills. It was perfect. Like they gave me a bunch of warm blankets, but the heating pad, that did the trick. Somebody's asking if the bleeding is bad. I don't want to say that it's bad like how you might be thinking, like it's like an overflowing river of blood that never stops. That's not true. It just is like a very, very, very heavy period. Very, very heavy. That's what I will say. I guess for everybody it's different. For me, that's what it was. It was a very heavy period. Somebody asked, how has breastfeeding pumping your milk supply been? Any tips? So I have had quite the journey with breastfeeding and all that stuff. When he was first born, he was taken to the NICU, so they gave him formula just because I can't be there, and also after the C-section sometimes it takes a little bit longer for your milk to come in, so it was taking me a little bit of time for my milk supply to come in fully. It literally did not come in until the second to last day that I was there, which when it came in, oh my gosh, it hurts. Like your boobs are extremely engorged, and I was pumping a lot, so I was keeping it kind of like stable, but when it first was like flowing in, I was not ready for that feeling. Yeah, so they started out with the bottle, and he kind of got used to the nipple. Unfortunately, he got used to the nipple on the bottle that they gave him at the hospital, so it made switching to breastfeeding a little bit harder than I was expecting for him. So I tried everything. What I did was we would supplement with bottle formula feeding at first when my supply was kind of stabilizing. Bless you. My supply was kind of stabilizing. And then once it stabilized, I pumped. So I pumped every feeding because he wouldn't latch. He had a hard time latching. So I pumped every single feeding, and then I would give him a bottle of breast milk, if that makes sense. And then every single feeding though, I would try and let him latch at least once. That was how I got him to be where he is now. Every single feeding, at least once, I tried to let him latch for at least 5 minutes. I tried my best, and I think that worked. I think just continuing to like introduce it to him, he got used to it. And so the second thing that I tried was I got a nipple shield. That is what changed everything, because once he got used to feeding in that position and being like kind of getting the flow that I had, I think he got used to breastfeeding. So I did a nipple shield for like a week or two, and then I would slowly take off the nipple shield every feeding for like 5 minutes and see if like he would latch. And I don't know, one day it just clicked for him, and ever since then he's been really good. And then for a while I was doing like exclusively breastfeeding except for the last bottle of the night, where I would just, Matthew would feed him the last bottle and I would have like time to myself kind of. But I think that, oh, my baby's up. But I just wanted to finish what I was saying. I no longer do that one bottle a night. Now I just exclusively breastfeed, because he got used to breastfeeding so much that he doesn't take the bottle. Another thing I wanted to talk about postpartum is the emotional aspect. You will go through a lot emotionally. It's just part of it, okay? I will say, and I want to be like really delicate with this topic because it honestly was huge for me. Like postpartum, the first 2 weeks, I struggled emotionally. I was experiencing I just felt like I was thinking a lot inward about my life and everything, and instead of it making me like think of how I could be better and like all those things, it just made me sad. I was just thinking about my life and I was just sad. Not my current life, I was thinking about my life as a child, and I was just very, very sad for the first 2 weeks. I had one conversation with Matthew, literally one conversation, about how I was feeling emotionally and what I was going through, and I'm telling you, I felt 100% better after that. For me, I just talked it out, and I still continue to do that. Like, it's not just a one conversation thing. You continue to talk it out. That one conversation I had literally though really changed my outlook of postpartum, and he kind of just showed me that it was okay and it was natural that I was feeling this way. First of all, there's a huge stigma around mental health in general, okay? And mental health in pregnancy, postpartum, there is a huge stigma around it. Like, everybody knows you go to the doctor after you give birth, they give you the paper and they ask you, like, if you're going through postpartum depression, they ask you to fill out all these things. Like, there's a huge stigma around it, and it can be scary. I'm telling you, I was scared when I was feeling the feelings I felt emotionally postpartum, because I was like, oh my gosh, like, am I having postpartum depression? Like, what's going on? I knew that even if I was having it, I have the support in my life that I could get the help I needed, and I could get the time that I needed to get better. But that's not what I was experiencing. I was experiencing I'm pretty sure it was postpartum blues, which is a little bit different than PPD, and I just needed communication. I just needed like a back and forth communication, and sometimes I just needed to like vent and get everything out. And I want you guys to know that, like, when you're going through postpartum anything, just in life with mental health, you're not alone, even though you may feel alone. Mental health struggles and issues surrounding mental health are very common, and it's a lot more common than people want to vocalize, but it is very common. And even me, like, I had a hard time vocalizing what I was going through, because I felt like, oh my gosh, like, people are gonna think, oh, she's not doing well postpartum, she's not doing well. But having that conversation and just letting it out and being able to have like that discourse with somebody about what's going on in your heart and your mind and all those things emotionally is very healthy. And I feel like that is what kind of changed my postpartum experience, is not allowing the stigma to make me not talk about it, or not allowing, like, oh my gosh, what are people gonna think of me, make me not talk about what I was going through. I was so used to, like, as a kid, just bottling up my feelings and emotions, and then just like one day just crying and like honestly lashing out, things that are not healthy to do. But that was just the way that I coped when I was younger. And being married to Matthew and getting older, I realized, like, those are not healthy coping mechanisms. Healthy coping mechanisms is being able to have a conversation with somebody, being able to let out your feelings in a healthy environment where they can be received, and also somebody can give you advice if you need that, or somebody can just listen to you, somebody can pour into your life, pour into the situation that you're going through at the moment. If any of this sounds familiar, I want to let you know you are not alone. 62% of adults believe societal attitudes discourage people from seeking mental health help. Despite growing up in an era of mental health awareness, 37% of Gen Z believes those who seek therapy are mentally weak. In honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, BetterHelp is sponsoring this video, and I'm working with them to stop the stigma around mental health support and encourage more people to get support from a licensed therapist. Therapists listen, ask questions, and help you see things from new perspectives. They can give you advice and techniques to make positive changes in your life, and BetterHelp's mission is to make starting therapy as easy as possible. If you think that you can benefit from speaking to a licensed therapist, click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/mattandcarly. That's betterhelp.com/mattandcarli to match with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. Using our link also gets you 10% off your first month of therapy. If you would like me to get a little bit more deeper into kind of like what I was going through in those 2 weeks postpartum, just let me know in the description down below. I would love to talk more about it. But just so you guys know, you're not alone. Those are all the questions that I have. Again, a lot of them were kind of similar, so I kind of just clumped them up together. Let's go see what Matthew and baby is up to. And Silas takes a really long nap. I miss him. Like, I should be getting things done, but I just feel like I have FOMO that I'm not right next to him. Baby. Say hello, chubby chunkers. Hi, that's you. You see yourself?
Aww.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I love you guys. I will see you next week.
It's giving caveman.
You? Wait, I never showed you guys my outfit for today. Tank top and these. What print is this? Maddie? Huh? What print is these pants?
Cheetah print? Or leopard
Cheetah?
print?
Oh, leopard, yes. These are some leopard print jeans that I have, and I'm obsessed. I'm in like my animal print era. Anyways, I love you guys. I will see you next week. I hope. That was very helpful.
It was very helpful.
He wasn't even here. Love you guys. Bye.